let's just start here. So I've waited some time before A, I did a live just in general. B, before I actually discussed this Minnesota situation. I mean, yeah, the Minnesota shooting and all that. Obviously, I'm against it. I'm like, nah, I'm not happy about that at all. Here's what I don't like. What I don't like is that people are throwing around the term fascism like it's some new shit or some shit like that. I cannot stand the fact that people are acting like this is some new shit, as if we haven't had years of people getting murdered by law enforcement constantly for no good reason at all. Why is there so much militarism in our society? Why is there so much high police presence? How have we become a police state? Oh, right, because we've always been that from the fucking beginning. I'm sick of this fucking shit. I'm sick of the fact that people act like this is new shit. Like it hasn't been happening this whole fucking entire time. Like there haven't been minorities constantly being murdered for no good reason at all. Being murdered because it was Tuesday. Being murdered because, oh, he looked like he was fucking walking down the wrong side of the road. Oh, because he was playing loud music. Oh, because she look like she might be doing drugs or whatever the fuck bullshit ass reason these bitch ass motherfuckers wanted to say this whole entire time. I don't get why people are acting like this shit is new. Oh, I guess because she's a white woman, all of a sudden now people getting their fucking panties in the bunch. When it was a fucking black person, when it was some native person, some minority person, motherfuckers didn't give a fuck. Oh, but as a white woman, now all of a sudden motherfuckers is raising millions of dollars, literally millions of dollars for this chick. Now, like, RIP to the chick, you know what I'm saying? Renee Good, I think her name is. Like, yeah, RIP to her. I don't know what the fuck she did to deserve to get murdered, but this is not new. America has been a police state this entire time. You know, the whole slavery thing, the whole Jim Crow thing, yeah, that was like fascism in real life, like to the highest of levels. So that's why I don't get why people are acting like this shit is new. Like the shit just started happening 2 years ago or some shit. This has been the case for 300 fucking years. And actually more than that. We're just talking about within the fucking, you know, the technical, you know, uh official existence of America, right? But in terms of the landmass, shit's been going on for hundreds of fucking years. So motherfuckers need to knock it off with this fucking bullshit. Need to stop pretending like they don't understand that this has been the case the entire time. See, now we live in the modern age where we have technology, where we have the internet, where we have mobile devices. That's why I like doing lives. Because when we're live, these hoe ass motherfuckers can't deny shit. They can come up in here, they can play these hoe ass games, they can say all this stupid ass bullshit and pretend like this shit has actually made sense, but it hasn't. It has created suboptimal fucking living situations for us, and it's unsustainable if you want to continue to survive and thrive, flourish as a society, and reach our goals of actually improving our quality of life as a society, as human beings, and to ultimately discover who the fuck we are, what this reality thing is, and what our place is in it. And that is why we have to talk about these topics as a society. Now, I'm on here talking about it because whole ass TikTok doesn't want to have this conversation. They only want to allow this conversation the way they want to have the conversation. They don't want us to get real about it because being real is bad for fucking business. It's bad for multiple industries. They have built an industry on bullshit. That's why I say all the time, America has become the scam capital, the capital of the world, the fucking divided states of corporations. This shit right here don't mean shit. It don't mean nothing. Nobody knows it. Nobody knows it exists. Nobody reads it. Nobody cares about it. It might as well not exist. Motherfuckers just make up what the fuck they think is right and wrong, and they use religion as their reason for doing it. And that's one of the biggest reasons why I have a huge problem with religion, because it gives people this idea that they can just believe whatever, make up whatever, and that's just reality. That their ridiculous psychological bullshit is the reality. So that's why I like doing live, so that we can actually combat this shit, confront this shit, and have real conversations in real life, in real time, right now, because you can't hide. So you can type whatever the fuck you want, but when you're actually live, now you actually have to demonstrate what the hell you're talking about. You have to actually show us that stupid ass bullshit that you hoe ass motherfuckers was talking about. And if you don't fucking have shit to say, that's cool. Just be honest and admit you have nothing. Okay? Because at the end of the day, what the hell are we doing? That's what all of this is about. What is up with this ice shit? What is it about ICE that it's become such a huge topic that their presence has been so strong throughout the country for the past year or so? Like, what is up with this shit? Like, even the concept of immigrants to me is ridiculous, considering that we all share this planet. All of these concepts are arbitrary as fuck. And the fact of the matter is that we're all human beings. At this point in time, we've become so connected that there's no real reason for us to have all these bullshit situations. All the things that divide us are artificial as fuck. Outside of basic things like gender, color, and hairstyle, and all that type of shit, we are all human beings. We're all literally of one race, the human race, Homo sapiens, and all that shit. So all these things that separate us are artificial as hell because you're born in a different landmass and all that type of shit. Like, that doesn't really mean shit. It's great for things like sports and all that type of shit, right? I'm from Chicago. I'm a Bears fan. So, yes, I'm happy as hell that we just beat the Packers. I was just talking to some lame ass slackerhead that was fucking salty about them getting their asses kicked. And so it's fun to do stuff like that, to talk shit as a fan of one team and talking shit about the fans of another team. That's cool, right? But in terms of real life, in terms of reality, we're all supposed to be on the same team, the human team. Except we have a lot of people suffering from various psychological disorders and or abusing various substances that are fucking with their brain, on top of the fact that we all have PFAS and microplastics crossing our blood-brain barrier, fucking up our minds, which is what makes it difficult for us to get on the same page. So that's why when I get on here, the question that I ask people is, what in the fuck are we doing? What are we doing as a human race? As American citizens, as living beings, as earthlings, what the fuck are we doing? What are our goals? What are our aims? What are we actually pushing to do? And the fact of the matter is, we never have this conversation because the powers that be don't want us to actually have this conversation. They don't want us to actually discuss our agenda collectively as a human race, as American citizens, as living beings, as earthlings. What are our overarching goals in the long term and the short term? What are the goals that we're seeking to achieve? The ultimate goal. What is the ultimate goal? We don't have these conversations. All we know is that a lot of these goofies out here want to fucking do crazy shit like be bitch ass simps and pick me's for some supernatural, super unintelligent intelligence. And we can't even get any real answers out of them. We can't figure out what these people actually want to do. What are their goals? What is the point of all of this ICE shit? Like, what actually is it doing? You can't say it's making us safer when people are getting like murdered. Like, that's kind of the opposite of being safe. That's like the ultimate form of being harmed. You're harmed so much to the point where you're no longer alive. That's not safety. That's called like danger, like extreme danger. And I think it's a microcosm of a bigger problem, right? When we see everyday ordinary citizens getting murdered, it's a microcosm of the homicidal, suicidal nature of humanity. That's the main reason, Dell, why I am anti-theistic. It's not necessarily about the theism itself. It's just the biggest form of irrationality that exists in our society. That's why I talk about it so much. It's not about this particular form of irrationality. It's about the fact that it's the most popular, the most pervasive. So it's the most obvious form of people being outwardly retarded as fuck and demonstrating that what they do doesn't make sense. That's one of the reasons why I talk about it so much. I mean, we're talking about here in America, 200 million Americans subscribe to Christianity alone. That's 2/3 of the country. So a lot of people believe this crazy shit, but for what? Why? For what reason? How does it help people like Renee? How did it help people like Charlie Kirk? People who espouse it, or people, I mean, I don't know if Renee was a Christian or not, but considering that she lives in the country, well, she lived in a country with 200 million people who do believe it, how did it help her? How has it helped anybody that's ever suffered at the hands of another and lost their lives as a result? How has that helped anybody that's been murdered, abused, sexually abused, physically abused, emotionally abused, any of that shit? How exactly has it helped anybody? Right? The reason why we mention this so much too is because literally everybody in office, in political offices, damn near are Christians. We're talking about the president, the vice president, the secretary of state, the fucking Congress, almost all of Congress, 90% of Republicans, 80% of Democrats in Congress, damn near the whole Supreme Court, and like I said, 2/3 of the country subscribe to this idea. All these people belong to this one particular ideology. But as we see, we have this super suboptimal state that we find ourselves in. And if these people believe what they believe, then why the fuck isn't it helping us to optimize our society? What is the fucking point of this religious bullshit if it's not helping us to prevent these kinds of situations to begin with? The last live I did, I talked about the mass shooting that happened in Utah at a church. At the fucking church. Right outside the church. People lost, 2 people died. A lot of other people got hurt. I think like 6 people got hurt. At a church. How does Christianity help this? How does Islam help? How does any form of theism of any kind help any of this shit at all? I ask these questions because we have to live with so many fucking people who believe this type of shit. So I do this to challenge the irrationality of the people who set these things in motion, who have direct access to our domestic and international fucking foreign policy and what have you, and what they're doing, questioning what they're doing and why they're doing it. Again, it's not about the belief system itself. It's about the most popular form of irrationality that exists. See, the thing about having the internet, the thing about having mobile devices is that they should help us to get to the bottom of understanding all forms of irrationality and curbing people from those forms of irrationality and steering them towards sanity, rationality, reason, logic, fact-based evidence, actually making sense, doing things that are actually sensible. It is simply illogical to believe in some supernatural super thing that not a single person in the world can locate. And it's even more senseless to get in a position of decision making, a position of power, and to make decisions based on your irrationality because you believe some stupid shit, some crazy shit, and you fuck with some other motherfucking goofies who just so happen to all be rich as fuck, and y'all decide to do some crazy ass, stupid ass, retarded ass bullshit because you felt in your heart and your mind that this was the best thing to do. And then you do everything possible to refuse to allow people, in fact, to straight up suppress people like me who question the authority, who question your morality, your ideas, your rationality, your reasoning. Like, why are you doing this shit? What is up with all this irrationality shit? What's up with this anti-immigration shit? What's up with this jingoistic fucking bullshit? How exactly does jingoism help us improve as a society? I thought America's supposed to be the great melting pot. I thought that the one great thing about America that they love to preach is that everybody wants to come here because it's so fucking great. So how are you convincing people that's so fucking great to come here when this is the type of shit that can happen to people who are from here, who were born here? Motherfuckers talking about they want to call her a domestic terrorist, right? That is crazy. You know who's a domestic terrorist? Timothy McVeigh is a domestic terrorist, or was a domestic terrorist. Okay? People like that are domestic terrorists. Dylan Roof was a domestic terrorist. The Unabomber was a domestic terrorist. The motherfuckers that bombed the race in Boston, those were domestic terrorists. They actually committed terroristic acts that literally ended the lives of several people for a political bullshit-ass purpose. On some crazy shit. Or just for the sake of it. I don't even know their motivations. Just retarded shit. So taking out somebody like that, I can understand. What the hell did Renee Good do to deserve to get murdered like that? What the hell kind of terroristic actions did she engage in to deserve to get murdered like that? Why are there so many people who champion law enforcement and their unlawful actions? Again, we're supposed to have these things called rights, right? We're supposed to have these things called rights. I don't know if you know that, but there's these like amendment things. Amendments. I don't know if people understand that, but this is in the Constitution. Sorry, everything's backwards on shit. It's the Constitution. People don't be knowing, hey, we're supposed to have these rights. You can't just fucking shoot and murder somebody because you thought they were a terrorist. There's supposed to be this thing called due process. I don't know if these goofies ever heard of it. But these are supposed to exist so that shit like this doesn't happen. And shit like that is the reason why I have a major problem with liberals. Because people are mad about this. Where were these bitch-ass liberals when Obama murdered the fucking fool who joined ISIS? Anwar al-Awlaki and his 16-year-old son, for that matter. Who, for all intents and purposes, we didn't even know if he had any connection to any of that Islam shit to begin with. See, this is the thing. The reason why I mentioned that, for those of y'all who don't know, right, Anwar al-Awlaki joined ISIS, and he went over there and was with them, and he was saying death to America, all type of shit. This dude was an American. All right, he denounced his American citizenship and all that type of shit, but he's still an American, right? And so Obama allowed military to straight drone strike his ass, murder his ass. Now, I'm not like, oh no, poor Anwar. Oh no, please. I don't have any, I don't feel too much sadness for him, especially considering what he stood for, some crazy terrorist, religious bullshit. Totally anti that shit. But at the same time, he was an American. So if he decided he want to go over and join the ops, cool. Go over there, grab this bitch ass nigga, bring him back to America, and then try him in the courts. The justice system that they like to call it. Like you shouldn't just be going say, hey, let's just bomb him over there and call it a day. Because now you're literally violating, the Constitution. The thing that you swore to uphold and protect and all of that shit that you swore to God. The supernatural super thing that these fuckers love to pretend exists. They swore they were going to uphold this Constitution. And then when they don't do that and get exposed for that, instead of just being honest and admitting, hey, we fucked up, we violated the Constitution, our bad. No, they double, triple, quadruple down, and then they attack people like me for calling them out. They want to censor and suppress people like me for mentioning these, unfortunate events. Because that's how fascism works. That's how it's always worked. That's how people have become so fucking bamboozled. That's why people are up in arms about Renee Good. See, when it was Sean Bell, and it was Amadou Diallo, and it was Martin Luther King, and Fred Hampton, and Malcolm X, and Huey P. Newton, and so fucking many more minorities who were murdered for whatever reason, those 4 little girls in the church, that shit, yeah, it's like, oh, that's just so bad, but whatever. And that's the best case scenario. Most people don't even know about the shit. Or worse, they believe that these were domestic terrorists. People were like, hey, can you like not kill us for no fucking reason? That was fascism then. Jim Crow, the slave trade, slavery. That was fascism then. But motherfuckers was hanging us from trees and shit, having picnics and shit, doing photo ops next to fucking hung carcasses. Yeah, that was fascism then. This country was built on fascism. This shit has never, ever been a democracy. I need people to get this shit through their bitch ass fucking heads. All these goofies talking about protecting democracy. What the fuck is democracy? These whole ass motherfuckers don't even know what the hell democracy is. They've never heard of this shit. They have no idea what democracy is. They've never even understood what the word means. So when these bitch ass, whole ass, goofy ass politicians come out here talking about they're protecting democracy, don't not a goddamn single person know what the fuck that means. How can you say it's a democracy when the only 2 parties are choices? What's democratic about only 2 parties? How is it democratic to say if I vote for some other party outside of those 2 parties that I'm wasting my vote? What the fuck is democratic about that? By the way, the sheer irony of that is I'm here in Chicago, okay? A super duper Democrat stronghold, where democracy is so alive. I voted for the third party, the Green Party candidate, Jill Stein. And the irony of that is that she's from here. Jill Stein is literally from here in Chicago, but she wasn't on the fucking ballots. I had to write her name in, because otherwise she wasn't on the ballot. Ironically, in red-ass fucking Texas, super duper red-ass Texas, Jill Stein is on the ballot. So basically what you're telling me is that Texas is more democratic than the fucking state of Illinois, which is a Democrat stronghold. So where's the democracy in that? The fact of the matter is that America's never been a democracy. It's never been a democratic republic, right? America is a hyper-capitalist, plutocratic, oligarchical, kakistocratic, kleptocratic, gerontocratic, theocratic, idiocratic, techno-feudalist corporatocracy. In plain English, America is a nation run by a bunch of rich, old, goofy, retarded, mentally disabled, unqualified Jesus freaks who don't know shit about fuck other than being bitch-ass simps for the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches, and using technology to gaslight us all day, every day, as if everything they've been doing has been the greatest, most optimal decisions to make, even though all the data that we can find publicly available shows the exact opposite. They're fucking killing us, hurting us, ruining our lives, literally artificially keeping everything bullshit and suboptimal, right? Like, we could be living in way more harmonious times. All the things that threaten our survival and our ability to enjoy a great quality of life, we can have right now. The means exist, the infrastructure exists, the resources exist. The only problem now is that those who own the means of production refuse to utilize those resources for that purpose. These bitch-ass goofies that own everything hoard all the resources so that they can just continue to hoard them. Because they're greedy fucking bastards. Perhaps because they suffer from some form of psychopathy or some kind of other psychological disorder that causes them to want to ruin the world. Well, here's the thing. When you live in the corporatocracy, corporations own everything. And the first thing you learn about businesses, about corporations, Business 101, literally one of the first things you learn is that the goal of a business is to maximize shareholder profit. that by itself means that corporations are misaligned with the overall well-being of people, right? Because if corporations' goals were to maximize the well-being of people, well, then we would be aligned and we wouldn't have the situation that we have. But considering the fact that their goals are to maximize shareholder profit, that means that everything they do has to do with maximizing shareholder profit, even if it means fucking us over, even if it means hurting us, harming us, killing us, allowing us to be killed, allowing these situations such as this ICE shit to happen. Because you gotta look at it like this. So many different industries benefit from us living in these suboptimal conditions. Whether you're talking about the healthcare industry, the pharmaceutical industry, those both require us to be fucking sick. They require us to be in debt so that they can keep us stuck, needing their services. Therefore, they can extract resources from us. Okay, weapons manufacturers, they love it when there's all this violence, because whenever a mass shooting happens or some crazy terrorist event happens, the first thing people do is go to buy guns to protect themselves. That's great for the weapons manufacturers. That's great for business. So when you look at this is how capitalism works. Now you see why we have these suboptimal conditions. So therefore, all these industries benefit from us not being unified as people. They benefit from us being constantly separated, from us being misaligned, always at odds, fighting with each other, staying on fucking opposing sides as opposed to unifying. Because if we were to actually unify, we could accomplish a great many things. Because at the end of the day, our leverage as people comes from our ability to cooperate, collaborate, to work together interdependently with synergy. Because that's basically what a corporation is anyway. Any organization. All organizations are just people working together towards a goal. Therefore, if you are part of a corporation, your goal is to help the corporation achieve its goals. But if we as people decided that our goal is to maximize our collective well-being, then we could ensure that everything else is aligned with that goal, forcing corporations to have to actually help us in that goal. But because our goal is misaligned with their goal, they are going to do everything they can with their resources to ensure that we as people cannot achieve our goals, because our goals would be bad for their business. It would be bad for their bottom line. If corporations had to adhere to standards, had to adhere to regulations, might cost them a little more, might take them a little more time to get the product out and get it on the shelf so that they can sell the shit, so that they can make their profits. Think about it. If we as people were in great health, the pharmaceutical industries, the healthcare industries don't make as much money. They don't benefit from you being healthy. They benefit from you being sick. That's why you see these manufacturers manufacturing these microplastics. That's why they've been doing this shit. They've been knew decades upon decades ago that their fucking products were causing all kinds of harms to people affected. But because it was great for business, why stop now? Why would you stop making the product when you're making all this good money? But that's the sickness of our culture. That's the sickness of hyper-capitalism. Capitalism does not give a fuck about our collective well-being. Because if it did, our collective well-being would be the priority. And thus, everything we do would be helping to ensure that our well-being was kept intact and maintained and constantly optimized. Instead, the opposite is true. These fuckers do everything possible to extract as many resources from us as possible, to hurt us as much as possible, or to do anything to maximize their fucking bottom line, even if it means hurting us. And this is not anything that's unique to either of the two major parties. This is something they've both been engaged in. The only difference is that Republicans are a lot more shameless about it. Democrats love to pretend like they're on the side of the people, but they do everything possible to sabotage our ability to improve as a society. Okay, they might do a couple little things here and there, but then they immediately fucking cancel that shit out with some other crazy shit that they do that is 10 times, 100 times worse, that pretty much fucks everything up. Therefore, we as people have to get on the same page about what exactly we're doing and why. So that's why I get on live. That's why I have these conversations. That's why I allow people to come up and talk to me about the crazy shit that they want to think about or that they want to believe. So I believe that it's important that if we want to ensure our continued survival and our ability to thrive, that we as people must engage in real conversations, uncomfortable conversations, conversations that might cause you to rethink your entire worldview and thought process. Because at the end of the day, we have to figure out what exactly we're doing. And if we, in my opinion, if we do not prioritize our survival and collective well-being, there's no point in even anything at all. There's no point in us doing lives and having conversations and doing anything because apparently whatever. So that's why I say our overarching goal should be to understand reality, understand our origins, understand the theory of everything, all that type of shit, because it gives us something to work towards. It gives us an overarching goal, the whole totality of our reality. What is it? How did it come to be? And in the process, in order to make that happen, it forces us to have to optimize things for ourselves because, as I say all the time, how can we accomplish any fucking thing if we're fucking dead? If we die, we can't do shit. We can't figure nothing out. We can't optimize anything. We can't improve anything because if we're dead, we're fucking dead. And after that, it depends on whether or not these sci-fi fantasy loonies are actually correct, which they're clearly not, because they have no idea how to even begin to prove their point. So that's why while we're here, while we're alive, we should be working to ensure that we can stay alive and maintain our lives so that going forward, we can actually improve upon our living situations. The better that we improve our living situations, the stronger we become, the better we become, the more capable we become at continued improvement. That's the whole point. That's why it's so important for us to work together interdependently with synergy. But when we're constantly being separated, it becomes difficult to do that. That's why there's so much propaganda everywhere. That's why there's so much religion everywhere. That's why there's so much bullshit everywhere. Despite the fact that we have these two different political parties, they're basically two sides of the same hyper-capitalist party. Because everything they do is all about promoting capitalism as much as possible. That's why all of the policies that would help us in reality, they refuse to do no matter what. The things that fans of both parties are aligned on, neither of the two-party leaders are ever even thinking about talking about any of that shit, let alone actually addressing it and coming up with plans to implement it, because they don't actually represent us. They're not representing us. They represent the rich, the banks, the corporations, and the churches. That's it. They gaslight us every day. That's why these fucking fools on either side of the aisle, they talk about any and everything but the actual issues. But most importantly, people far and wide are completely divorced from reality, which makes it difficult for us to have real conversations about our reality and thus how to best move forward. That's why I always find it important for us to have conversations about reality, because by working to understand reality, it forces us to actually determine what exactly we're doing and why. Okay? When you have 2/3 of the population that says our goal is to serve the Lord, now we got to figure out what the fuck that means. What does it mean to serve the Lord? What is the Lord? What is it? Where is it? How exactly do we actually confirm that such a thing exists in some way? How do we verify that? And then how do we determine what it means to serve it? What is it? Where exactly is it? Why should we serve it? For what purpose? How does serving it help us to improve our collective quality of life? If people can actually explain that, I'm all ears. Considering that there are 200 million of these people here in America and 2.4 billion across the world, all it takes is one of them to help explain to us how exactly it helps us. But they don't. They can't, because it doesn't help us. What does it help us do? The only thing I see that it consistently helps with is helping predators gain access to potential victims. They have done a hyper fucking efficient job of that. They've done a fantastic job at victimizing people and getting away with it, helping to cover it up. We've seen this shit happen for literal fucking centuries all over the world. Every single other day, news stories upon news stories about news stories upon news stories keep coming up of crazy shit that happens. Look at this shit. I just found this shit right now from an hour ago. Just from an hour ago. Look at that. In Green Bay, of course it's Green Bay. Fuck Green Bay, by the way. Bear down, you fucking bitches. Former Minnesota pastor convicted for repetitive sexual assaults of child in Wisconsin. That's an hour ago. An hour ago. Okay, some shit from 28 days ago. Teacher at a Christian Unified High School arrested for alleged sexual assault of family member. Like, this shit just constantly happens. Constantly happens on their watch, by their people, by their leaders and shit like that. They do a fantastic job of this shit. Like I said, I just looked it up. Matter of fact, I already had it up. But I looked it up and it comes right on up. This is damn near every day. Damn near every single day. We see that they definitely do a lot of that. What we don't see is how that helps us as a society, or how these people, how this ideology helps us at all as a society. That's why I question, what is the purpose of theism? What is the purpose of religion? What exactly is the purpose of Christianity? What exactly does it aim to accomplish? And why is that something we should be aiming to accomplish? Why? For what purpose? The fact of the matter is there is no purpose. It doesn't serve a purpose other than being the greatest, longest running scam in human history and the greatest rape culture in human history. Considering how much they fucking rape people, men, women, children, particularly children, and how little evidence they provide on a consistent, continual basis concerning their bullshit theology, let alone anything they actually accomplish in the real world. They're not curing diseases. They're not discovering or inventing new innovations. They're not providing us with any new insights that we can use and implement in real life to help improve the world. It doesn't save people's lives. It's not like, oh, people prayed for Renee good and now Renee is good. No, she's doing very, very bad. Actually, she's not here. So what the fuck is the point of that shit? Why are we electing presidents who espouse this religious garbage when we don't see them actually accomplishing things? Motherfuckers want to start wars in fucking Venezuela, kidnapping presidents and unleashing ICE throughout the country, and for what? Because Jesus said to do this shit? Where the fuck is this Jesus character so we can figure out why the fuck he would tell this retarded ass nigga to do this retarded ass shit? What the fuck is the point of this shit? Hey, Jesus, where the fuck you at, bro? Where the fuck are you at? Explain yourself to me. Explain yourself to us as a society as to why you would pick these loonies to represent you. These fucking retards, these rapists, these fucking monsters, these fucking predators. Why would you have these people represent you all over the place? To the point where every other day, somebody being brought up on charges, somebody being convicted, somebody's being alleged, somebody's being accused. Every day. Every fucking day. Every damn day, somebody is fucking talking about something that happened to them. I just had somebody in my comments the other day on YouTube talking about they got attacked by some fucking Christian parents or some shit. Abused by Christian parents. It doesn't make any fucking sense how prevalent this shit is in our society, and these people that claim to have a direct connection with the ultimate super intelligence can't figure out a way to stop it when there's so many of them. They got all the access to damn near all the resources. Literally 200 million fucking people. They're in every sector of the population. Obviously in the fucking government, like I said earlier, in business, in fucking just everywhere. I can't even watch a Bears game without somebody on the team or on the other team talking about, thank you, Jesus. I just want to give glory to God. I want to give my glory to God. Like that's supposed to mean some shit. You giving glory to God. Meanwhile, some child is getting raped by some pastor. Where's the fucking glory in that shit? Where the fuck is the Lord to stop that? If as much as I love to see my Bears win, if the Lord was going to do anything, I'd rather the Lord stop the fucking rape that happens than to fucking work on helping my Bears win. That's another thing I've been seeing recently, too. Motherfuckers want to bring up the Pope. Hey, our Pope is some guy from Southside Chicago. He must be working with the... Fuck out of here with that shit. If the fucking Pope really is in touch with the Lord, the things that should be further down on the list is how my fucking Bears are doing. How about how the children are doing? How about the Lord start with the fucking children and helping them and protecting them right now? How about that shit? How about fuck the Bears? As a Bears fan, as a fucking Chicago homer, fuck the Bears, fuck the fucking Bulls, fuck the Sox, fuck the Cubs, fuck the fucking fire in the sky and all that shit. I would rather all of those teams lose all the time, every single game, than see another child get harmed, period. I'd rather the Lord start by protecting children. If it was so real and so powerful as these people claim, why does it just continuously fail to protect children, people, just everybody, even their own? It doesn't make any fucking sense that the Pope is talking to the Lord about, help the Bears beat the Rams this weekend. Instead of, hey, Lord, how about you stop these rapists in our fucking churches and synagogues and our fucking cathedrals from raping children all the fucking time, from raping women all the fucking time. Hell, raping dudes in the prisons and all that shit. How about shit like that? How about stuff like that? This is how absurd our society has become. People would rather have smoke for me because I said that this Christian shit is retarded than actually have smoke against the Christians and churches raping children in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. These pastors, these priests, these cardinals, these teachers, these volunteers, these fucking staff members, these clergy, all these fuckers, these minor fuckers, fucking minors, like the Lord sanctioned it. That also can't demonstrate that there is a such thing as a Lord to begin with. Meanwhile, people are getting attacked in all these different ways. They're getting attacked by priests, preachers. They're getting attacked by ICE, police, law enforcement. Where is the Lord to help actually regulate this shit? All these people claim that they're in touch with this super intelligence thing. They have no idea what this thing is, where it is, and how to actually use it to our advantage. What the fuck is the point of this shit? What's the point of worshiping this shit if it's not actually helping us in real life? So that's why we as people need to get real with reality. It's time to get our collective shit together. It's time for people to understand that fascism has always been a fundamental part of American society. They can sit here and try to pretend like it hasn't, but it has. I mean, think about it. Why would we have a 19th Amendment? If you don't know, the 19th Amendment, the Women's Suffrage Amendment, the right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on account of sex. Why would we need something like that if that was just the norm to begin with? Because there was a time when women were considered property. Women were not considered autonomous human beings. So the fact that we had to have these amendments, and mind you, it's not like the presidents or whoever was in fucking office at the time was like, oh, you know what we should do? We should give women rights. Yeah, we should totally give women rights. Why not, right? I mean, they're people too, right? No, women had to fight for it. Women had to die for it. Women had to put their lives at stake in order to allow these type of amendments to be made in the first place. People have always had to fight for their rights. People in America have always had to sacrifice their lives to ensure their autonomy is respected. That's how it's always been in America. So that's why I get so sick of people picking and choosing when to give a fuck. When there's so-and-so and such and such on the south side of Chicago, don't nobody give a shit. It was just another nigga. It was just another chick. Some other hood chick. Some other hood nigga. They probably deserved it. What about black on black crime? Oh, but then when it happens in fucking Minnesota to some white chick, now everybody wants to start throwing around the fascism shit. Now motherfuckers want to donate money and do all this. When there's so many who didn't even become fucking headline news. This just been happening. I know people who've been murdered by law enforcement and it didn't make a single headline. Fascism has always been a part of our country. In fact, we can't even say it's our country because we have no representation. Nobody represents us. That's why it's fascism. The shit that we actually want, we never get and never will get so long as these fucks are in office, so long as the system is the system. For us to get the things that we want, we are going to have to work together interdependently with synergy. But in order for us to work together interdependently with synergy, we have to get on the same page. That's why it starts with talking about reality. Because once we can ensure that we're on the same page, that motherfuckers aren't retarded as hell, then we can start making rational decisions for rational reasons. And then we can have real, meaningful conversations, world-building conversations, instead of having the same stupid-ass, bullshit-ass debates. That's why I keep trying to tell people, like, I'm not here to debate with you fucks. It's time for motherfuckers to either put up or shut the fuck up forever. Either show me that shit you're talking about makes sense, because I consider myself a reasonable person. If you can make a good argument, if you can make a sound and valid argument to me, you can convince me. That's how persuasion works. You can actually convince me. I can change my mind right now if you provide solid reasoning and solid evidence to me. Otherwise, shut your stupid ass the fuck up, get your dumb ass the fuck out of my face, and I have no problem being rude about it. You know what? Some motherfuckers need to be told in a rude manner, because we live in a time now where there's so much fucking bullshit and disinformation. I don't even want to call it misinformation no more. At this point, it's disinformation. And here's the difference. Misinformation means incorrect data. Disinformation means deliberately incorrect data. Meaning it's propaganda, it's bullshit, it's cap, it's nonsense, it's garbage. That's why I created the no cap zone. That's why I say it is a place where we have a strict dress code. Not get the fuck off with that capping ass fucking bullshit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Because, see, the thing is, we don't put a cap on what humanity is capable of. To me, these sci-fi fantasies want to put a cap on what humanity is capable of. They want to tell us what we can or can't do. They want to tell us that we can't play God, or we can't solve all these problems, that we just have to leave it up to the Lord to let go and let God. Shut the fuck up with that retarded ass bullshit. Why would I let something that you can't demonstrate exist do anything? For what? How about we stop letting go and we start getting hands-on? That we actually try to figure out how to stop the madness, to stop the violence, to stop the rape, to stop the incest, to stop this law enforcement tyranny. All these Second Amendment lames that pretend like they love their guns because they care about protecting against a tyrannical government. Cap. We're literally witnessing a tyrannical government, and I don't see a single one of these pussy-ass lames grabbing a gun to do shit but be some little punk-ass pussy-ass bitches. This is what tyranny looks like. When the motherfucker can just shoot you just because it's fucking Tuesday. That's not how a democracy works. Not a real democracy. A real democracy doesn't say a motherfucker can just shoot you because they felt threatened. Because you're coming right for them. That's not democracy. America is not a democracy, nor has it ever been. I forgot the term. There's a term for it. It's like it's the appearance of democracy. Like, okay, yeah, you get to go and vote. That's the appearance of democracy, but you don't get diverse choices. You don't get to vote for what you want to vote for. You get to vote for this motherfucker or that motherfucker. And ain't neither of the motherfuckers representing you unless you're rich. Unless you're one of these hoe-ass celebrities out here. Unless you're one of these fucking tech magnates or some shit. Otherwise, they ain't doing shit for you. They ain't talking to you about what the fuck they gonna do for you. That's when people try to tell me who I should vote for, I'm like, get the fuck out of my face. Because it's all a sham. I know I'm wasting my time. I know that if I vote for the person that I think would best represent me and represent our society, they don't have a chance. That's the point. That's the point. I say this all the time. If Kamala had Bernie Sanders' fucking platform, she might have wiped the floor with Trump. Or at least she would have been a lot more competitive considering how competitive Bernie was. But then I learned that even Bernie was a fucking patsy. And that's the game. That's the game. Fucking Kamala represented the rich, the banks, corporations, and the churches. That's why she got her ass kicked. Ain't nothing she said had anything to do with how she was gonna help us. Matter of fact, her goofy ass, retarded ass fan base, they ain't even know why they support her, other than she was the Democratic fucking candidate. That's it. She was the Democrat candidate. Okay? Like, I posted this video on TikTok about how this one media company went to the DNC here in Chicago last year, asking all these goofy ass liberals which of Kamala's policies they thought was the best policy that she had, and they couldn't name one. All these fucking goofies at the DNC. These are supposed to be some of the greatest political wonks. These are people who are into politics that are really, really pushing to make America great. And not a single one of these goofies, except one person at the end, had any idea what her policies were. And it was made even worse because after she fucking got her ass kicked, like months after the election, I did a live on TikTok, had one of her goofy ass cronies, some young kid, just like early 20s or whatever, was on my live talking about, oh, why do you support Trump so much? Why this, why that? First of all, I don't support Trump. I don't support either of the two major parties. I make that fucking clear that neither of them help us to improve our collective quality of life, to help us optimize the quality of the world, to optimize our well-being as human beings and American citizens. So I don't pick sides. If anything, I criticize Democrats way more than I criticize Republicans because we know what the Republicans are. They are shameless about how much they love industry, how much they love business. They don't even try to hide it. It's the Democrats that pretend to be leftists, that pretend to be for the people. That's why I talk about them the most. So I asked this goofy ass loser the same question. Hey, so tell me, which of Kamala's policies did you think was the best policy she had? And this clown couldn't name a single one either, even after everything that happened. And to me, it goes to show you the retardation of our nation. That you have all these people who are so passionate, who are so into it, but they don't know shit. They don't know shit. They don't do any research. They don't know anything about history, historical precedent. They don't do their due diligence. And most importantly, the media that they consume does not provide them with the proper context, which is why I find it so shockingly embarrassing how I feel like I'm the only person that knows a lot of the shit that's actually happening in real life. And it's not like I'm some super genius. It's not like I know everything because I don't, right? The only reason I even started looking up shit is because I couldn't get a job because I was never into politics growing up. I was not into none of that shit. I did not give a fuck. The only thing that made me give a fuck was I couldn't get a job after I graduated college, and to this day, still haven't found one. And I've just concluded it's never going to happen, which is what you deal with in a capitalist society. So while it might be rare, you have these situations where some people either just get crowded out or worse, get blackballed because motherfuckers don't want you for whatever reason. I mean, think about the fact that you have all these fucking rapists that can get jobs, that can get positions in government and positions in corporations. Think about the whole Epstein shit. How does a motherfucking rapist get billions of dollars? What do you think a rapist is gonna do with billions of dollars? Probably a billions of dollars worth of rape, which might explain why there's all kind of rapists in these high positions, right? In Hollywood and government and business, all this shit. That's why we see it. That's why when they released the Epstein files, they gotta heavily redact the shit. Why? Because they gotta protect all of those who are involved. It has nothing to do with national security secrets. Cat. We know what it is. We see it all the time. It's the same reason why I'm here and not on TikTok, because all of these fucking entities, all these organizations work diligently to protect the worst of the worst. Because guess what? They're in the highest of the highest positions. They're in the highest of the highest positions. That's why the shit is so prevalent. That's why it has become so much more normalized. See, when this Bubba down the street getting caught raping, motherfuckers got a problem and can't wait for fucking Big Bubba to do they have their way with them in prison. And that's another thing. Like, oh, you're against rape, but you're cool with the rapist getting raped. How does that make you any better? But whatever. But when it's Pastor Johnson, when it's Pastor Schwab, or whatever the fuck, now all of a sudden it's well, see, the thing is, well, see, you don't understand. See, the Lord works in mysterious ways. And see, Pastor Johnson, see, he has this thing called free will. You know what I'm saying? So he like totally like schmodally whatever, but I forgive him. Because the Lord is forgiving and the Lord is so merciful and all this crazy shit. But fuck those fags, though. Fuck those trannies. Fuck those fucking whatever the fucks I don't like over there. Those niggers or whatever the fuck. It's so crazy. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. It doesn't make any sense. As I said, we're all human beings. We should be preserving life. And the reason why I talk about this, and Dale, you should understand the fact that we have the Fermi paradox to begin with. Some people don't give a fuck about it. I do, because, one of the big topics in society is the talk of aliens and UAPs, all that type of shit. And it highlights how little we still understand about our reality, about space, about existence, about what's possible. The known knowns, the known unknowns, and the unknown unknowns, as Bolton once said back in the day. I think John Bolton, but this type of shit. There's things that we know that we know. There's things that we don't know, but we know that we don't know. Like, what's dark energy? What's dark matter? Like, we're still trying to understand shit. Is, gravity? What's the nature? Stuff like that. But then there's stuff that we don't know, right? We don't know if there's some other, like, force or some other aspect of nature that we have yet to uncover that might be an important part that we haven't considered, right? Like, for the most part, physicists feel like they have generally like all the different whatevers. I'm not physicist, but don't, take what I say with grain of salt. But they feel like they mostly got all the like different forces just about hammering down the details and all that type of shit. But ultimately, there is still so much to learn about our existence, to learn about our reality. And if we were all hands on deck in terms of working to understand it, we could probably solve the shit tomorrow. But we have all these loonies out here that believe that their fucking sign is fucking the moon and that whatever the fuck their horoscope told them today is like, this is not reality. It's lazy. It's intellectual laziness. It's pseudoscience. It's fucking bullshit, and it's a waste of time. It's one thing if people want to be into that shit on some hobby shit, like, hey, I just think it's fun and it's cute, whatever. But to like act like it's better or like more scientific than literal science is retarded. Straight like that. And I have no problem saying that. I have no problem if I offended any of y'all out there because I don't give a fuck. The reality is we need to be working to understand our reality. That's how we solve the problems. Because the more that we discover, the more capabilities we develop that we can apply to solving problems, which I thought was the goal, to solve actual problems, to solve things like world hunger and fucking hate and drug abuse and sexual assault and, famines and all this type of climate change, all these different things that threaten our collective well-being and our collective survivability. If we're not working to shore this shit up, there is no point in even having any conversation at all. We might as well just dig our own hole and just lie up in that bitch. If we're not going to work to ensure that we continue to survive and thrive, there's no point to anything. So, Dell, thank you for coming through and watching me. I'm going to try to be more consistent doing these lives because I'm still working to figure out the app and my schedule and all this type of shit, what exactly I should do and all this type of shit. But I will say that fucking the clips are doing decent on YouTube. So hopefully if I keep doing this shit, maybe this shit can pop on YouTube. Who knows? But I'm gonna keep doing this shit right here and try to build because fuck TikTok. I hate it. I hate the fact that we could be popping on there, but they just won't let me pop. They just will not. I've been at it for like 4 years and I'm still in the same spot. Ain't grew at all. On the verge of getting banned again. That's unsustainable. So that's why I'm like, no, I'm switching up over here and try to do my thing on here and fucking put up clips on YouTube and hope that may be the new move. Because I've tried doing lives on YouTube too, and it just doesn't. It's not worth it. It's just not worth it. But I like how Substack automatically like creates the clips and then edits them. Like, I think it does a fantastic job. It just needs to do better at like doing all the clips. It would do like maybe 3-4 clips and then all the other shit would be fucked up. I can't download shit. So Substack, you need to step your game up and you need to really, really seriously work on improving your live experience because TikTok is killing y'all on that and y'all need to step it up immediately so that y'all can compete. And then y'all can help me take over this shit. All right. So thank you for coming through, Dell. And anybody who's watching this, thank y'all. If y'all on the YouTube watching it, I'm gonna try to be more consistent with this shit. But I need your help. So follow me, you know what I'm saying, on here, on Substack at The Ultimate Rage. Follow me on YouTube at The Ultimate Rage. Pretty much everywhere at The Ultimate Rage. On TikTok, I'm at The Ultimate Rage 9, at The Ultimate Rage 079, and all that fucking shit. You can find all my other accounts on there. You'll see it. When you see my fucking my profile pic, you'll be able to know. But yeah, we have to figure out our reality. We have to figure out how to improve upon our collective ability to survive and thrive. We have to improve the human condition. We have to improve ourselves as people. So let's work together interdependently with synergy to figure out everything and ultimately discover what the fuck this reality is, all right? So thank y'all for coming to the No Cap Zone, a place where we only give a fuck about the facts, the truth, the data, the information. You know, things that can actually be demonstrated to be true in real life. You know, like in real time. You know, like while we're alive in sound mind and body. Because otherwise, I have no idea what these goofies are talking about, which is why we got to talk about it so that we can get to the bottom of reality. All right. So stay safe out there. Um, Stay smooth. Right? Don't stop being bitch ass simps and pick me's for goofies and lames who ain't deserve it, who ain't earned it. All right. Let's bring some actual sense to this crazy ass world once and for all. All right. Holla back at your motherfucking boy, man.